Para malabanan ang COVID-19, ang kailangan natin ay tama at totoong impormasyon, hindi fake news. Huwag ka agad maniniwala sa nababasa at naririnig. Ang pagkalat ng mga maling paniniwala tungkol sa COVID-19 ay nagdudulot ng panik, takot at maling desisyon. Laging i-double check kung saan nanggaling ang nabasa o narinig. Maging mapanuri at i-share lamang ang tamang impormasyon. Sa wastong pag-iingat, ang virus hindi kakalat. COVID-19, kayang-kaya nating tapusin.
Hi everyone, it's Nicole Aurel Asensio, inviting you all to watch Forward, a self-care and mental health program every Wednesday at 9 p.m. on Edge TV on Facebook Live. This is hosted by DJ Raymond and Monique. Together, let's take that first step forward towards better mental health. Take care, everyone.
Hi, I'm Karen Shai, and I'd like to introduce you guys to this magnificent archipelago. If you've heard of this place, you've probably seen a lot of photos featuring gorgeous beaches, magnificent reefs, and a multitude of sea animals. It's no wonder this place is called the center of marine biodiversity. Since 2004, studies have proven the Philippines to be the global center of marine biodiversity, boasting the highest concentration of species per unit area in the Coral Triangle region. That's where most of the world's marine creatures love to hang out, and we in the Philippines are lucky enough to be living in the center of it all. 19 species of seagrass, 500 species of coral, 3,000 species of fish, 6,000 species of mollusks, and many more make their homes in these beautiful waters. And that's just one of the things that makes the Philippines amazing.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Oh, forgot to change our background. Okay, yan na. Good evening, partner
evening.
Monique. Hello, Lodi. How are
How are
you?
you? Good.
Excited tayo, di ba? We have a very,
Yes.
serious talk ba to? Hindi naman. Pero excited ako because our guest today is, of course, a longtime friend and former band manager ko siya actually.
Oh,
Way back.
okay.
Yeah. And we became yung mga partner kami sa mga projects and really close, especially sa mga advocacies. Yan, family namin, family nila. In fact, the one of the video kanina sabi ko, nostalgic trip, yung about biodiversity, marine biodiversity, yung daughter niya yan, medyo
Oh, okay.
not really so long ago, pero ang galing, very talented. Mana sa kanya. Well, anyway, kumusta muna tayo?
All right. Well, we're still at home, right? We're getting by
Wala.
together.
Yeah. Medyo strict pala. Well, I realized lang. Anyway, it's a long story. I don't want to tell it. Pero if you're going out to go to banks, medyo check nyo muna. I got surprised yesterday. I went to 2 branches. Both are closed. Tapos I checked the layo pa pala. So it took me 2 days just to deposit a couple of checks. Yeah. So anyway, we're excited about our episode today as announced. No? Salamat pala sa mga naka-tune in na. Thank you. Please be with us for the next hour kasi we'll be hearing a very good story syempre and napakaganda rin ng topic. Yan. Monique will just
Yes.
tell us like an information or heads up of what's
Right.
going to happen.
So, as you can see in our banner and as we've been promoting, the episode is about biking as therapy. We know that all exercise is good for our physical health, but of course, it's also great for our positive mental health because we release endorphins, the happy hormones when you work out and you sweat. And biking in particular has been seen to be a key component for depression, anxiety, and stress because it combines, of course, the exercise aspect together with the being outside and having the uh, the exposure to the outdoors, and then the rhythmic, aerobic, and low impact nature of it has brain boosting effects. It helps
Wow.
improve our creative thinking, our memory. It helps us have new thought patterns. It changes our mood and our sleep.
Yeah.
So it is a very great form of exercise, but also a great way to be used as therapy and to address healing of different
Healing, yeah.
stresses that we are faced with. Tsaka
Well,
alam
maybe
ko
that's the reason. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
become uh, even more of a parang phenomenon ever since quarantine, no? Like I see
Yun na nga. I was about to
more
say
biker
that.
groups.
Yeah, right. Kaya nga kaya pala, that explains why, 'di ba? Yung in the when the lockdown started, talagang slowly people started going out in bikes, using bikes. Well, syempre lockdown has literally, physically, pero mentally din, it helped kaya pala nagkaroon ng boost talaga, no? So, siguro without further ado, sayang oras, shout out sa manonood sila Maria Elizabeth, si Dimple, Jeffrey, and si Sandy. Wow, Sandy, hello sa inyo dyan sa Cavite. Also in Lucena, hello. So, let's play a short intro video. Medyo para ano, mas masaya. Medyo
All
serious
right.
serious topic pero masaya to. Here we go.
You got me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You show me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. Yes, I'm the winner, yeah. 'Cause I'm the winner, yes. 'Cause I'm the winner, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, yes, I'm the winner, yeah.
Yeah, winner talaga, winner. Hello, welcome to the show, Anne.
Hi, good
Welcome,
evening.
welcome.
Good evening, Monique. Good evening, DJ. And good evening, everyone. Kumusta?
Good to have you here. Exciting ito. Kasi nga, well, di ba, because of the pandemic, there's a talagang huge rise. And even in fairness sa government, di ba, noong una medyo hindi sila naka-adjust. Pero after a few months, bike lanes started, di ba, to sprout everywhere. Talagang decent bike lanes na. And even in new constructions ngayon, we can see in the build, mga, di ba, photos, videos nila Secretary Mark, sila Secretary Togade, di ba? Yung bike lanes, malalaki na, very, ang galing, ang galing. So talagang may changes talaga na happening. And we know, yeah, kasi a konting backstory, Anne was involved during the lockdown, yung Bikers United Movement. It's, ano siya, it was born in the pandemic to help out frontliners who, di ba noon, walang mga ride. May
Right.
mga bike sharing sila, bike donation. Ayan. Well, syempre, si Ana magkakwenta niya. Okay, so,
Oo.
ayan, sige, si Monique, syempre, ang unang magtatanong.
Sige. Um, of course, we want to know what it was that you needed to heal from before turning to your biking journey. So, can you tell us about your past abusive relationship?
Yeah, because I I went through an 18-year um, period of domestic violence. So I was
Oh,
married
that's
19
long.
years and then 18 years. And so this is in all forms, physical. There was, well, no, just three forms: just physical, emotional, mental, and financial. So that was really tough. So when I decided to call it quits in our relationship, I had a kind of a healing period of 11 months. When I came back here to the Philippines, I found that I had PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder.
Right.
So that I had to heal from, and I found biking. So from then on, yeah, it gave me so much. It gave me so much freedom, so much empowerment. That's why now I can claim that biking healed me a lot from my abuse.
Yeah. At first nga, I thought
Yeah,
it's weird eh. What's the connection between healing physically, di ba, and emotionally? Pero then later
yeah,
on, realized ko, it has a lot of connections, ano? Especially
yeah, so much.
outdoor, di ba, yung mga ganun bagay. Okay.
Yes, very much, because of the physical activities. And Monique mentioned a while ago the endorphins that it gives you, and it gives you
Mm-hmm.
this headspace where you can think differently. So, yeah, it has a lot. I mean, it's scientifically proven. Plus,
Mm-hmm.
me,
Okay.
I didn't um I didn't, what do you call that, intentionally do that. It just came about when, when I found a friend. I I met somebody who was biking, and I said, I've been
Mm-hmm.
wanting to bike for the longest time. And then, yeah, she guided me through, and then she introduced me to a group from Antipolo. And then from then on, I never stopped biking. So that was
No.
2017, I think. Yeah, I started bike commuting
Wow.
2017.
Okay.
So
Ganda.
even before
Pero,
the
Wow.
pandemic.
yeah. Of all places, ano, in a mountain, in a mountain city pa.
Because that's where all the
Start out
slopes are.
biking.
People consistently go up to Antipolo. When you go up to Antipolo Saturday, Sunday, kunyari you're going to church or whatever, pre-pandemic, syempre ngayon, you don't really go up there
Yeah.
to do much leisure. But then when you go up there, up until now, because cycling is not prohibited, it's allowed. You'd
Yeah,
see
yeah, yeah.
hundreds and hundreds. And minsan I'm not exaggerating, sometimes thousands, and you'd see
Mm-hmm.
them end
Yeah.
up in, we call the place Tak Tak, or they end up also in the
Oh,
church,
yeah.
kasi
Tak-tak.
it's
Oh.
very iconic, the cathedral in
Mm-hmm.
Antipolo.
Correct.
So
Correct.
cyclists are there, and there are really designated bike parkings already
Mm-hmm.
there. That's wonderful. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's the mecca for bikers.
Correct. But for a startup, di ba,
Nice.
for starting to ride, it's kind of, rolling and, di ba,
Oh
dangerous,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
I kind of started there because there are good slopes and enough because the people who start there, they find the easier
Ah,
areas.
okay.
Yeah, so maganda. The training there is good. Very slopey, parang UP. Very nice nice great very very gentle. Very gentle
Mm-hmm.
angles. Yan.
Okay. So, yeah, si
Before
Monique will
you
also,
found
yes, go ahead.
your passions of biking, were you big on exercise before, or was this a completely new lifestyle for you?
And I used to run a bit when prior to cycling, and then I do a little bit, physical activity like so yeah, I go hiking up the mountains. But then when I found biking, that was the perfect fit for me because I love going around, I love going places, I love visiting friends. So when I got on the bike, um, that's I can go to my neighbor or one of my best friends, who lives in the next subdivision. I used to teach also senior high, so I'd go to school on a bike, and it's like just the community, just go around. I go to the market, and I go to the supermarket or buy my medicines using my bike. So it was pretty
Good.
convenient for me, and I didn't really like um, riding so much. Like I'm not much into driving cars. In fact, I gave up driving, I think, 10 years ago, even prior to my cycling era.
Yeah.
And cycling's
You
a
didn't
little
like,
faster than biking.
yeah,
I
you didn't like
I
four
didn't like.
wheels.
No, no, it wasn't me. I tried motorcycles too, and yeah, it didn't work. So I was a kid when I started. I was a teenager when I started on using motorcycles, and it's not for me. So yeah, perfect. I just found my perfect body when I got on a bike.
Yes,
Nice.
and yun. Okay lang ba, di ba Monique? Can we go back to a bit kasi this is forward is about mental health problems and how to we're helping people. No, hopefully they can relate to your experience. No,
Mm-mm.
moving forward, di ba? Pero we will travel a little bit back, konti, no? Konting
Let's
backward
go
ng konti
backward.
to oo, di ba? Konti
Not
lang
forward.
naman. Yeah, what effect did the abuse have on your emotional and mental health? And can you recall the lowest point in your
Ah,
life?
yeah, very much. I think my lowest point was about a few months before I left the relationship 2016. I was already very anxious. I'm usually really capable of hiding it and not breaking down. But then a few months before I left, July, like March or May of that year, I was already getting, uh, I'd wake up in the middle of the night anxious. I'd have palpitations. It was really bad already. So that's why I decided to leave, and it was affecting me and my capacity to work. And as I said, I was financially abused too. That's why I had to be the breadwinner for the family. And when I wasn't capable of that anymore because of my depression, my anxiety, and it's
Mhm.
long term because it's 18 years already. So accumulated na yung accumulated na yung all my emotions. Then I said, okay, let's stop this, and I gotta go already.
Was it, aside from the decision to leave, was it difficult for you to leave?
Oh, yeah, very much. Because I've been attempting to leave even the first year of my marriage because I knew there was
Okay.
something wrong already. But then, like the cycle of abuse, it's the battered wife, and we call it the battered wife syndrome. Like there are four stages to this, right? So there's the stage that you feel already anxious because there's an upcoming abuse that's going to happen, and that's the first stage. Then the second stage will be the actual abuse, and then after that is the calm stage, when after the abuse your abuser asks forgiveness and you forgive, and then you have this, then you go back again. So it's a cycle because you forgive because you think there's hope. You forgive because you want to fix your family, or you want to fix the relationship, but it just goes around and around. That's why it lasts long. Then maybe with understanding this, you not be judgmental. Nobody judges the person who is in that kind of relationship. It's like me, I'm not exactly um, dumb. Yeah, I went to good school, and all these things, but still I stayed in this kind of relationship despite knowing that there was something wrong, because there's this phenomenon known as the battered wife syndrome. And I guess that's also the same happening to romantic relationships, even if you're not yet married, but you're in love with this person. So even if there's an abuser, he's abusing or she is abusing. So it works both ways. The man or a woman can be an abuser, or
Mhm.
any gender can be an abuser, any age can be an abuser. So
Right.
that's what I learned along the way, and in my story too. That's why I keep on sharing it, so that there's a bigger understanding of the abuser, and from the third party point of view, you support either, even the abuser, and even the abuser. I kind of studied their mental state too. So a lot are narcissists, a lot have been abused too when they were kids. So again, that cycle happens to them. So it's really a systemic abuse. It's a
Yeah, that's right.
cultural
Oh.
systemic abuse.
I know a few people, ganun sila eh. They were brought up abusively by their parents,
Yes,
so
exactly.
they do that to their children too, sometimes to the spouse. Ganun.
Yes, and sometimes they don't know that it's abusive because they grew up with it, so they think it's right.
That's right.
So yeah, it becomes right too, and then they grow up as kids, and then become bullies. First, they start off as bullies because bullies are
Mm-hmm.
technically abusers, and then when they grow up, they become the abusers too until the cycle's broken.
When you recognize the abuse as the one being abused, but knowing that that person, your partner, went through abuse, does it feed into your guilt in staying, or does it
Yeah,
make you have some sort of Stockholm syndrome and feel sorry for them or
yeah,
empathize with them?
yeah. It was part of that because we try to um, you know, we try to justify it, we try to bring logic into it. And of course, when you're married, you try to understand your spouse because it's again, your vow is through thick and thin till death
That's
was
right.
part. So it's the all romantic thing about marriage. But then there should be a fine, what do you call that, a fine print saying, till death do us part. And uh, through thick and thin if there's no abuse. But if there is abuse, then I don't think
Mm-hmm.
that that statement that you pledged in front of God or you pledged in front of your family and the community should follow through because
Mm-hmm.
that till death us part is in a more or less not a perfect situation but a more or less within the bounds of love and respect
That's
and
right.
compassion. So yeah, so very much I tried to make some sense, put some sense into the whole thing. But uh, I I'm saying you shouldn't because
Mm-hmm.
abuse is abuse in any form. Abuse is
Yes.
abuse, no no matter what age, no matter what relationship, no matter what race.
Yeah. Ano yung turning point mo, Caps? What made you
Uh,
talaga finally? Kasi di ba, it was
on
hindi
and
naman
off,
sobrang,
yeah.
yeah,
When
yeah, it's a
we
long
went to a
battle.
we went to a psychiatrist, a psychologist.
Okay.
Yeah, it was ang gulo-gulo na ng pamilya. The kids were going crazy already. I was getting beaten up like in front of them, in front of my neighbors, in front of everybody. And
Mm-hmm.
nung we went to a psychiatrist and he was diagnosed as bipolar and he took his meds for a month and then he quit taking the meds. Then I said, okay, enough. Because we tried everything, me and the kids, we tried to understand him. But then when it came to the point that you have to be the one to take hold of your life now, I mean, it is your call. The meds are there, even if we couldn't afford it anymore, we had to bring him to the psychiatrist. We had to buy the medicines. But then when he said that he wouldn't take it, then I said, okay, if he doesn't want to help himself or he's not capable of helping himself, then we have to go. So that was my really turning point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Then,
Yeah.
how did you start to pick yourself up again after you made the decision to finally leave?
Yeah, I was so blessed that I was able to go to New York. So I stayed in New York. Well, I stayed in New York for 7 months, and then the rest of the 4 months I was going around like California, Vegas, uh, Arizona, New Mexico. So again, it was just a blessing. I'm not rich. In fact, I had almost zero balance. I had only $500 in my pocket, but I still went because a friend found out about, well, a long, long time friend, a college friend, found out about my situation. Then he called and he said, I heard about your situation and you come to New York and I'm sending $1,000 to buy your ticket. So, I had totally nothing. But then when I decided to call it quits, and I said, okay, I don't want to stay in this relationship anymore, everything, fell into place. So in 2 weeks, my youngest child went to my mom in Davao, and then my four kids were on their own. My kids are very independent. I sorry, my kids are very independent, so they were able to fend for themselves. So yeah, so I flew to the States 2 weeks after I was in New York. So I couldn't even complain that I was going through really bad times because I was, in the Big Apple, I was enjoying myself, um, meeting new people, all these things. And then my kids were fine, 12 hours difference only. So when it was 12 midnight, it was 12 noon, I'd wake up at 6 a.m., it was 6 p.m. So we'd call each other up. We have this group chat and every day we were in touch and the kids were doing great. They were doing their own thing. Nobody went astray. They were all
Good.
going to school. My daughter dancing ballet, doing archery, everything. So I couldn't ask for anything more. When I was healing, they were here and having a good time too because they weren't in the abusive relationship anymore. So yeah, that's
Sabay-sabay
it.
kayo nag-process.
Yeah, yeah,
That's good.
everything. Yeah.
It just took you
So
just one decision, no? Just one final decision.
yes, just
Okay.
one final decision and just full trust that no, this is the right thing to do. Just take that one step forward, and everything fell into place. So it's been 5 years, and I'm
Oo,
so I'm
yeah.
so happy and I'm so free,
Ano
and
ba
I'm
ang
mindfully.
inspiration? Why do you, kasi di ba not all people, not all women are willing to tell the story, get the word. I remember
Yeah,
kasi Anne was all even interviewed on CNN and other
yeah.
broadcast platforms, TV, radio, no? You were all over
Mhm.
parang a few years ago, di ba? With this advocacy, violence against women and children, no?
Yes, up
So,
until now,
ano
I still
yun?
do a lot
Yes.
of talks. Yeah. So,
Okay.
what the question is why, right? Because when I was going through my abuse and I was surviving, I knew that there was a reason why I was going through it. And hindi ako nakakalabas doon, but we're somehow floating there. And I still, when I left the relationship, I still had my brain intact kahit papano. Um, Even physically, even if I was getting beaten up really, really bad, my eyesight was still, I did break bones, my eyesight still is
Okay.
still there. So
Okay.
that, so, then I, I realized that there was something there, but it really took me a few years to embrace it fully, to say that, okay, I need to champion for
Hmm.
this cause, for the anti-abuse. I need to
Mm-hmm.
champion for this. And, every time I don't do it, every time, sweep it under the rug and say, okay, I'm doing something else, I don't get blessed. So
Wow.
this is this
Calling
is
talaga.
more of yeah, this is more of an obedience thing, and because I
Okay.
just have to follow his calling, otherwise I
Oh.
get spanked really hard. Ang
Really?
sakit-sakit. Yeah, I mean, really, honestly, I'm not such a
Wow.
good person naman. I mean, I try to
Yeah,
follow
we
his
all have
will.
our, limit,
Yeah, so
um,
what I'm doing
the
now
human
is not
side.
yeah, what I'm doing now is not because I'm a saint. It's not because I am, I want to
Yeah.
be like this wonderful person who people will say, "Hey, Anne, you're so great," and all this. No,
Mm.
it's really I have to follow him because it's really messy if I don't. I mean, I
Okay.
don't know if people believe me, but like let's say I don't do this now. In a couple of days, one of my projects goes crazy. If I don't do
Okay.
this now, then a deal that I've been trying to close for the longest time doesn't happen.
Wow, divine,
So it's
talaga, ha?
it, it's
Intervention.
really yeah, it's really something, and if I don't follow it, then sobra ng tigas yung ulo ko, right?
Yeah, that's
So
right.
yeah,
That's right.
and everything so far because I've been following what I feel in my heart and what I believe that I should really be doing, then
Mm-hmm.
everything's wonderful. I mean, there are a lot of hitches, but then these hitches that happen to me and the challenges that happen, I, there's always enlightenment at the end. Oh, kaya pala hindi to nangyari because this had to happen. So there are a lot of aha moments for me, parang eureka moments na, oh, okay, kaya naman pala he put me through all this abuse because I need to
Mm.
talk about
Yeah.
it, and I need to help
Yeah.
women through men, women, and children through abuse. Yun. Kaya naman pala hindi niya ako pinayaman ng husto because I have to be in this kind of
Talaga.
situation para I can testify na, hey guys, you're gonna survive. You're gonna survive no matter what happens. So yeah, and then I didn't like driving. Why? Pala I was gonna be instrumental in putting up the bike lanes.
Kaya
All
nga.
these things have
Yeah.
have this
Mm-mm.
have this reason, and we
Yep.
just have to open open up our minds to say that
Mm-hmm.
okay, he's the one doing this. I mean, I'm effortlessly staying put in my house, and then somebody calls me,
Mm-hmm.
somebody comes to my house and say, hey Anne, you want to do something for the for cycling? Yeah, sure, why, let's do this. Okay, then we come up with all these ideas, and okay, tada, the bike lanes are all over the Philippines.
Kaya nga. Yeah. It's,
So
Quezon City
Awesome.
was the ano no the springboard parang doon yun
yeah,
eh. So
Commonwealth. That was
yeah,
Commonwealth. Kasi yan
that's
ang
right. Oo.
pinaka-delikado. So,
Oo, oo.
yeah. So
Yes,
that's where
yes.
we manned the bike lanes. That's where we put up the pop-up bike lanes. And then after that,
Mhm.
everything followed.
That's
Dadalhin
right.
kami sa jail ni MMDA. And then
Oh wow.
Senator Tolentino speaks in our behalf in the Senate. And then
Okay.
all of a sudden, best friends na kami ng MMDA. We're doing this bike sharing thing in MMDA.
Kaya
Road
nga.
sharing thing in MMDA and
That's right.
EDSA. And so, it just
Galing ah.
it's just something that happens to us naturally when we follow.
Yung keyword obedience. Hindi naman blind obedience na. Hindi naman blind obedience.
Hindi naman
Just
kasi tanong ako ng tanong eh. Parating, ano ba to?
yeah.
Ano ba to? At I correct ka, parang parating niya ako linoloko. I mean, because he puts me in this spot na talagang yung do or die. And then, pag nandun na ako sa pinaka-edge, I get, I get this, parang, I get saved somehow.
Mhm.
Yun. So, it's just, it's just nice and fun.
Yes, Monique was
Right.
about to say something earlier.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
I
Yeah,
don't,
Monique, we were, yeah, because, yeah,
I don't know. I
before I
was just
butted
going
in.
to react. Na, it's so great that, in spite and possibly, you had to go through all of that trauma in order to have this amazing purpose. And we really commend you for everything that you've done, creating the bike lanes and, speaking about your personal journey with others so that they can be empowered. What is your ultimate goal for those women, the ones that are still stuck in a toxic cycle and are still being abused?
Well,
Mhm.
yan, it's more for, well, let me give you a brief background now. This past
Okay.
few days, I've been thinking of like, I advocate for a lot of things, like there's sustainability, there's, women empowerment, that's
Plantita
what
ka
I'm
din yata,
about.
di ba? You were a plantita. Di ba?
Yeah, yeah, we
Until
also,
now? Di ba?
yeah,
Okay,
it's,
until
yeah,
now.
my
Good.
basil's still there, my,
All
my
right.
mangoes are still outside. So,
Okay.
I was thinking like, I have to put it all in a framework, para I don't go all over the place. And then, when I was
Mhm.
thinking and thinking and thinking, like just this morning, it just fell into place that I really am gifted by him, of course, with the power or the gift of empowerment. Like
Mhm.
when I go through my whole life, like from the time that I started professionally as a manager, as a
Mhm.
mom,
Yeah.
and now as a champion, I've been empowering people
Correct.
because of the energies I have. So like
Mhm.
with the bands that I've managed, kasama nga si
Yeah.
Kapatid Raymond, with the Razorheads, with Bamboo. I
Yeah.
believe that, I was
Dami.
speaking to
Dami.
yeah, I was
Grabe.
speaking to Melody this morning, Melody Del Mundo of Sugar
Uh-huh.
Hiccup.
Yeah.
And I was
Sugar
running
hiccups.
it through her because she's one of my best friends talaga. So if there's anything that happens to me like spiritually or anything, yun that happens to me talaga, Melody. And nakakainis lang yung time difference because she's in California, so I have to wait. But then anyway, so I was telling her, hey, Melody, what do you think of this? Like this empowerment thing. And then she goes, yeah, that's perfect because, that's really you. And then I got to my daughter,
Mhm.
si Karen, the one you saw a while ago, talking about
Yeah.
biodiversity,
That's right.
diversity. So I go to her and knock on her door. Karen, listen to this. Um, as a mom, right? I mean, this is what I do. And goes, yeah, yeah, right. You can say that. So it's pretty much um, clearer in my mind now that yes, I'm I help, like I'm an empowerment advocate, empowerment coach. I don't know what you
Yeah.
can call it because I don't have
It's a
the
coach.
handle
Yeah.
to it yet.
Life
Yes, but
coach, maybe life coach.
yeah, but I want to focus on empowerment like that
Yeah.
because that's specifically really what I do. And yes, and I
Exactly.
I can claim that. Well, of course, in his name, not mine.
That's
So
right.
if there's any wish I want for anybody who is marginalized, anybody who is in an abusive relationship, anybody who is depressed, or anybody who feels oppressed, I wish they take that courage to to em- to feel that empowerment in them, whether they reach out to somebody, they talk to their parents, or if their abuser is their parents, they talk to a teacher, they talk to a mentor, whoever, because it will help them a lot. um, I keep on saying in my talks that if somebody would have spoken to me the way I'm sharing my life story and speaking to women, men, and children who are oppressed, if I heard a story where somebody would have taken my hand and said, okay, Anne, this is what we do, these are the steps, one, two, three, four, I wouldn't have taken probably 18 years. I would have probably left earlier than that. It's a whole lifetime.
Yeah, that's
A
right.
lifetime for a lot of people. Can you imagine? But then again, I wouldn't say those 18 years were wasted. It was a
Yeah,
long
that's right.
journey of learning, which
Learning.
which
Yeah.
can be condensed by other people if they just first get into that and say, okay, I'm abused. Stop denying that. Kasi people will always hide the fact. I mean, Raymond has been a friend for like what 1,000 years already, and for a while, I'm sure he did not know that I was abused. But I'm very open to
That's
it. I
right.
mean, earlier years pa
Eventually
lang,
lang. Oo.
yeah,
No, of
eventually. But
course
I was
not.
already going
Oo.
through crazy, crazy times in my life already. But then I was hiding it, and then
Yeah nga.
I start opening up. But then if there's a systematic way, like I'm doing it now, like, okay, this is what we do. You do this first, acknowledge it first. And then after that, take your baby
That's
steps. Take
right.
your baby steps. Then you can go out. Because I've been through 18 years. So I cannot judge somebody who is there for 5 years. And if she
That's
doesn't
right.
want to
Right.
leave that relationship yet, I will understand because in your perfect time, you can get empowered. But how I wish you don't go through you know, I don't mind. 18 years is fine with me. But my biggest pain are my kids. My kids now are really going through so much trauma. Three of my kids are on meds because of their childhood trauma. And how I wish none of these kids would go through that anymore. That's my biggest guilt. That's my biggest pain as a mother. And I think if you ask me why I'm doing this, it's because probably to wash off that guilt and that pain inside me para don't, maybe make amends. None of my kids were blaming me for that, but I guess this is already part of part of the biggest push that I have in sharing my
The
story. I asked,
motivation, yeah. The
yes,
main
and I asked
motivation.
permission. I asked permission from them, saying, no, I'm gonna talk about this, and they
Yeah.
tell me naman na as long as it's gonna help people, then go. But I
Yeah,
won't
good.
be specific about them because I don't want them to get
Yeah,
really
that's right.
traumatized. But they know sometimes
Right.
they watch, sometimes they're with me when I do my face-to-face talks. I used to bring my kids to document. They're my photographers, they're my
Yeah,
videographers.
that's right.
So sometimes
Very
they do
smart
my
ang mga
blur.
kids niya eh. Very
I
creative,
think
talented. How many are
natotrauma
they?
rin
Four?
siguro
Five,
sila.
ano? Five
Five,
ba
five,
sila?
five
Five?
of them. So, yeah, so yun lang. I wish nobody goes through that much pain anymore, and they won't be as broken as we are. And reach out. I'm here. Just go to my page. Give me a call. I can do talks, all the time, no problem with that. Because yan nga, that's my destiny already. That's my life, life mission. So,
Is that the reason why you, di ba, you're still going through, still 100% with the biking advocacy? I see you all the time. Nagta-traffic pa nga ito eh.
yeah,
I mean, especially doon sa may, di ba, Commonwealth area. And yun, yung related talaga yon, yung with your personal journey, your therapeutic, parang para sa yung sarili, healing until now, still a work
yeah,
in
well,
progress, and
more,
sharing then this or finding
yeah,
opportunities to share this to the people around you.
yeah,
Ganun,
more like
okay.
during the pandemic, um, I had to go out. I go crazy inside the house. Diba? Parang ADHD din ako. So, we had an excuse to go out. Plus, yung nabanggit mo nga kanina, we built community gardens. There's here in my barangay, there's in UP Village. We'd go up to Antipolo, we'd deliver seeds. We worked with the Bureau of Plant
Oh
Industry under
yes,
the
I
Department of
remember. Oh,
yeah, Department of
BPI,
Agriculture.
no?
Yeah, BPI under the Department of Agriculture. We reached out to them. Me and my biker group friends, we reached out to them. We'd pick up the seeds from their place and then we deliver to houses, we deliver to barangays, ganyan. So ngayon makikita mo, ang dami nilang tanim, ganyan. Ako, I go to our barangay, pick Tarnatea there kasi wala ako ditong gagapangan. So minsan pumupunta ako doon to get for my
Sarap
food.
yan.
Oo.
Yeah.
Tapos nakakatuwa kasi nakita ko yung mga kapitbahay namin, ang dami ng mga talong-talong, mga okra, ganyan. So that was because of the pandemic. Tapos ang kulit-kulit ko noon, I post on our group page dun sa group page sa barangay. Tapos, free seeds, punta lang kayo dito sa bahay. So they come here. Or I bring it to their house. Ganon.
Boy, meron pala dito si
right?
Ben. Ben is saying hi to you. Ben Banyares.
Ben, that's my BFF. Ben, my love yan eh. my
Hello,
my
sir.
org mate from
Okay.
college.
Sa BUM?
No, from college from UP.
Okay.
College
Wow.
basketball.
Alright. Okay.
Ben, my loves. Yung BUM naman,
Oh.
mga kasamahan ko sa cycling. Dami niyan, mga kapadyak.
Ayun oo nga. Can you tell us about that nga? Parang yung
Bikers United Movement.
Oo.
Ayun, so we started as 7, mga magkakaibigan. Tapos, yun, naisip namin na parang we have to do something for the cyclists kasi mag-open up to GCQ na. Kasi diba, nung ECQ tayo, okay, ang dami-daming siklista and kind of safe on the road kasi walang buses, walang trucks, walang motor, wala masyadong ganon. But then mag-June 1 na, mag-open up to ECQ, wala pa kaming nakikitang, movement from those in authority. Tapos sabi namin, sige, ganito yung gawin natin. So, yun. Gumawa kami ng mga signage galing dun sa mga old mats ng mga anak namin. So, it was bike lane, drawing yan. Tapos yung mga
repurpose
6 or 7
talaga, ha?
repurposing kami. Pati yung mga bottles, yung 6-7 gallon bottles, kaya nang kami sa mga kaibigan. So, we painted it orange, ganyan. So, that's what we used na parang cones. Yun. So, rinipurpose namin yun. So, yung isang kasama namin we had one car, we had a backup car kasi doon namin dinalagay yung mga gamit, ganyan. Tapos, we have
One
naman
car
yung mga
started a movement,
yeah, one car and bikes and
bikes,
5 bikes. Yun. So, meron na kami mga yung mga, what we call this, the reflectors.
Mga safety.
So, kasi, and then our
safety
helmets.
gear.
So, kasi we couldn't go out on the road in front and traffic buses nang wala kami mga reflectors, di ba? So, yun. It was fun, it was scary, adrenaline rush talaga. Kasi nakikita mo yung mga buses talagang in front of you and they hated us because we're taking up 1.5 meters of their road. Feeling nila kalsada nila yon. But our point is share the road. Cyclists are equally, we have equal rights to
Equal
the road.
rights,
As
yeah.
you have,
Actually, priority
right?
nga daw Pedestrian,
priority.
then bike. Diba?
It's pedestrian
Then cars.
priority talaga. So the more vulnerable you are on the road, the more you're easily hurt on the road, you're supposed to be given priority. So it's the vulnerable sector priority. But of course, the motorists don't know that because car-centric tayo because we build roads and build roads and build roads and we don't have
Right.
bike infrastructure. So yeah, so that's what happened. They hated us so much. And up until now, they still do. Up until now, we still
Until
get
now, huh?
flack. Yeah. The bike lanes, sinasagasaan yung mga bollards. Bollards are those orange stuff that you see na
That's right.
Yeah, so
Oo.
sinasagasaan ng mga motorista yan, gano'n. Tapos sometimes if we go out and still marshal, kasi sometimes we still marshal the bike lanes, minumura pa rin kami, gano'n. But that's fine. Kasi
Okay.
nakakatawa kasi sometimes if I go to Commonwealth, maraming nakakakilala sa amin. Parang, ay, hey, Ann,
Wow.
gano'n. Alam mo yun, kinakawayan na kami. Ay, so parang fun naman.
Mga rockstar
have
kayo, ha?
we have this community already. And some of them are really good
Nice.
friends now. Nakakatuwa.
And it made
nakakatuwa
an
na-
impact, ha? Kasi I saw the new, mga highways in Cebu, Davao.
Yeah,
The
Cebu,
internet, di ba?
Davao,
Talagang
Iloilo.
very wide mga bike lanes,
Yeah.
well painted, talagang with barricades, very safe, very conducive. Not like the days
Oo.
before yung EDSA, yung di ba yung
Na,
mga bike rack
kanya-kanya
pa nga
talaga.
doon. Tapos di ba yung may mga bike lane pero after a few kilometers, you don't know where to
Wala
go
na.
kasi wala bigla.
Oo.
Then
Pero
meron na naman
puputol-putol.
ulit.
Oo.
It
So
was
ngayon,
really
I mean,
tough, no?
it's a long way to go. Marami pa. We still need really protected bike lanes. We need the culture. We need to be respected. May mga ganun pa. But then at least, this is a start na hindi natin bibitawan sana. Kasi nakita naman natin yung value talaga ng cycling and sustainable transport to all of us, the environment, to our health, to everything. And we can just say, okay, nandiyan na yung bike lanes, okay, tapos na. Diba? So Bikers United movement is still there because we know that
Okay. Very active
there's
pa
a
rin.
long
Active pa rin
long
siya.
way to go. So we recently pala we just started the drive. So nag-fundraising kami. We're working with Makati Business Club and Cycle
Okay,
Brothers.
wow. Pansin na kayo ng MBC, ha?
Yeah, and
That's
Unilab and Novo, I forgot. We're giving away
Baka Novotel. Hindi naman.
medicines and vitamins and raincoats and lubricants, bike
Wow,
lubricants
nice.
for the cyclists kasi tag-ulan.
Oo. Ay,
So,
parang
iba
meron
yung-
kayong pit stop. Ano ba yan? Ayuda? I remember
Yeah.
I saw some mga bike
Yeah.
ayudas. Yung station na you
Yeah,
get
we
your
call
free
that,
parang service, preventive
yeah.
maintenance or whatever.
We
Galing
call that
nun,
the community bike shop. We call it because of the community pantry. Tinawag namin community
Yeah.
bike shop. But even before the community community
It
pantry
was there
started,
already.
yes, we were already giving away reflectors, helmets. We were already fixing bikes for free. Tapos may mga nagdo-donate sa amin ng mga second-hand parts. Pinapalitan namin like the mga pedal, the chain pag napuputol, we'd vulcanize for free because they
Galing
give
naman.
us dispatch kits, ganyan. So
Oo.
it's fun. It's fun. You get to meet all these people. But of course, social distancing, spray,
Of course,
sanitize.
Ride
Alcohol,
safe.
vaccine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very,
right. Safe.
very talaga.
I believe
very
we
rightful.
have a short clip of your
Ito
core
nga,
group, right?
oo nga eh. Oo. The one you sent, can we play this? Very short lang, oh. Kasi sorry, I was not able to edit. May mga deadlines
Yeah,
kasi
I think
recently. Ito.
That's
Actually,
Bikers
dalawa to
United
eh.
movement. Mhm.
Okay. It's a very
Kami yan.
artistic, shot. Tapos, another
so
one
that
is,
was,
parang talk part. Sige, ito, apply ko. Mamaya makwento.
At ikukwento ko. Because that was shot during Bikes for Livelihood. That's a project of Gretchen Ho. Miss Gretchen Ho and Manny Pangilinan. So they give
Drone
away
pa eh.
bikes.
Maiksi lang
Yeah.
masyado. Yeah.
Oo, bikes.
Kaya pala hindi na-mute yung mic. Pero ito, this one naman is parang you're talking here. Ito maganda to eh. I know you love doing this.
Sinasabi namin, bike lane po yan. Kasi hindi pa na nila alam. So, responsibilidad din po natin bilang bikers at ngayon, alam nyo na, ituro po natin yung bike lane marking sa lahat ng mga kasama natin sa daan. Next po, white broken line borders. Ito naman kung putol-putol yung lines, yung broken lines. Puti or
Yeah, because people don't understand those bike lanes. meron putol, may dire-diretso, ganun. So parang litong-lito sila kung ano. So we give these
Correct,
seminars,
correct.
and yeah, yes, that's again another project of Miss Gretchen Barreto and Manny Pangilinan. So they get us, we check the bikes that they give away for free. Kasi second-hand bikes yung
Okay.
pinapamigay nila. So Bikers United
Okay.
Movement, we check, we grease, we binavulcanize
Galing,
namin.
no?
And then, prior to giving it away, we give seminars to those na bibigyan ng bikes.
Oh. Yeah,
So,
especially
yun.
riding properly, di ba, Monique? Kasi, alam mo mga bikes, walang one way sa kanila. Walang no entry, walang, di ba? Parang, magulat ka lang, oh, there's a bike, ganun.
Yeah, but we're
Nakabangga
very,
nga ako dati. In the 90s,
we're
nakabangga
very,
nga ako ng bike.
we're
Pag
very
go ko,
responsible.
somebody was beating the red light pala.
Nako,
Pag gano'n ko
yeah.
sakto, boom, talsik siya. Oh.
Marami yan,
Pero
marami
hindi
yan
naman,
mga,
pero marunong siya mag-ano.
marunong siya
Safety.
safety
roll.
to roll. Yeah, but then
safety.
that's part of Bikers United Movement advocacy also, that we teach on the road. Kahit kami, we bike, no? We bike as a group. Tapos pag naka-stop kami sa stoplight, nang se-sermon kami. Yung mga kasama namin, pag stop po, wala pong dediretso kasi po mamamatay kayo, gano'n. Nagaganon-ganon kami. Parang, ano itong mga to? Gano'n.
Kailangan eh.
Yeah, kasi it's for their own good and for the safety of all the road users, hindi lang naman sa siklista, 'di ba? Kasi kagaya ikaw, kapatid, ano mo nun? Nakamotor ka ba nun? O
Nakabangga ako?
kotse ka? Oo.
Kotse yun. Actually,
Yun.
going out of the heart center, I was in
Oh, no.
nasa hospital mother ko. Di ba may stop? Sa ano? Pag
Yeah,
ganun ko,
right.
may humabol pala, tsyum,
Ayun.
sa pool.
Oo. So,
Pero
safety,
buti yung ano lang
safety of
naman siya.
everyone.
Oo. So, yun lang talaga. Dapat safety. And do you also do that? Training kayo, di ba? Parang yun, talk about safety, gano'n.
Yeah,
But how
yeah,
can
that's part of it.
how can they just go to your website? I mean, your Facebook page?
Yeah,
ganun.
or they go to my Facebook page, Angala,
Ah,
ANNANGALA. Yeah, they can go to my Facebook page, they can go to Bikers United Movement. Yan, and
Okay.
we
Iba
can,
yun doon
we
sa
can
account
arrange
mo na personal Facebook, Angala,
Yeah.
pero page yun.
kahit saan.
So,
Yeah.
especially for, does it include yung mga VAUSI issues, ganyan, violence
Yeah,
against
well,
women
yeah.
issues?
Vowsy,
Kasama
syempre,
rin
hindi
doon
doon
yun.
sa bikers. Hindi doon sa bikers.
Hindi, I mean,
United
doon saan?
Movement.
Saan
Doon
Angala?
saan. Yes,
Saan
yeah.
Angala?
Yeah, that's where I give my talks about violence against women, women empowerment, all these things under the umbrella of anti-abuse and empowerment. Because for me, cycling talaga is very empowering also. You
Yes, that's
take
right.
it,
Yes.
kasi wala kang diba? You don't have anything to protect you but
Kaya
yourself.
nga.
So
That's
talagang
why I'm
let's
afraid,
do this.
Kaya ayoko ng bike. Diba? I motorbike to, di ba? Naksidente nga ako.
Oo nga, oo nga.
Pero
of
yan,
course, biking is
actually
not for
sila
all.
Monique and si Roy, bikers siya. Kaya lang, big
Oh,
bike
wonderful.
ginagamit.
Right.
We're newbies. Newbies.
Okay, hindi halata. Ganda ng bike nila.
Yeah, but
Okay, so-
brought about
Oo.
by pandemic.
Oh.
yeah, dami
Parang
naman
ano rin
nag-start
yata,
during the
therapy din
pandemic.
yata yun. Sorry, therapy yata ni Roy and ni Monique yun yung riding. Silang
Yes,
dalawa.
totally.
Kasi nakakapraning naman if you're just home, di ba? So kahit
Oo,
20,
diba?
30 minutes around your device, it's so helpful, right? Like makes you happy.
Correct. Especially in settings like dito sa amin, di ba, puro buildings. So you go up. di ba?
Oo.
Mga cabin fever, especially for young people. So if, di ba, as we wrap up, ano nga ba yung mga benefits that you got from biking? Na-mention nga ni Monique kanina sa intro, parang science-based din to si Monique kasi, mga evidence-based din to eh.
Yeah, so
Tapos
it's like
yung
for me-
message mo rin sa yes.
Oo. And for me on a personal
Yeah.
For me on a personal level, biking has helped me physically, it has helped me mentally, it has me and my bike talaga we've gone a long way, but it's my bestest friend. And it doesn't have to be again an expensive bike. Any kind of bike that you find, steel, secondhand, Japanese bike, road bike, mountain bike, whatever, BMX, luma, it doesn't really matter because it gives you, it gives you the same mobility. Maybe it's not as
Right.
fast, but it gets you anywhere. And so for anybody who wants to learn how to ride the bike, reach out to Bikers United movement. We, as I said, we give seminars in different LGUs, different organizations, and for women empowerment, for
Yung
empowerment in
women
general, for
empowerment.
men, women, and children. And if you want to talk about abuse, you just get in touch with me through Angala, my Facebook page, or even my personal
Mhm.
page. You just message me, and I, gladly talk to you and walk you through whatever you have to resolve in yourself. Because again, no judgment. Been there. I'm still healing up until now. I'm
Mhm.
not yet totally healed, but this journey is wonderful for me because it's one step, one baby step at a time. Get to see a lot of people, get to meet a lot of new people.
Mhm.
So never lose hope. As long
Yes.
as as long as you wake up in the morning, as long as you're still breathing, as long as you still have this capacity to love, you still have the capacity to forgive, then all is good.
Okay. May greeting pala dito from Bailon Rendon. Ayan. Hi, ma'am.
Si Ma'am
Monique.
Brandon.
Hello, ma'am. Tsaka, ayan, DJ. Watching from Bahrain. Kumusta kayo dyan, no?
Bahrain.
Okay, from
Ingat-ingat.
Bahrain.
Ingat sa Bahrain.
Ba- yes, yes. Yeah, Monique, you might have, mga questions pa
In
for
our
Anne? Yeah.
We're down to our
Like
final
maybe,
minutes siguro. Just
sige, sige.
your last words of encouragement for both the bikers or cyclist sector and for those facing abuse.
Yeah, for the cyclists, ingat sa daan, sumunod sa batas trapiko, hindi po tayo Superman. uh, Red light is a red light. A stop is a stop. Know your, know your rights, but also know your responsibilities on the road. And again,
Mm,
to those who
balance na.
are feeling oppressed, are feeling abused, uh, don't get stuck there. If you want to get out, reach out, talk to people. There are a lot of ways. There, there's your barangay, there's your PNP, there's me, there's my page. There are a lot of people who are, are willing to help. Whatever help you need, just reach out, and then things are gonna get better. You can't say that whatever situation you are, you're in a dead end. I've been through 18 years of abuse, my kids too, and we're fine, we're wonderful. So I just want to say that there's a beautiful and wonderful life after abuse, and you deserve that. Thank you.
Nice, nice, very nice. Thank you, Caps. I have just,
Thank
naalala
you.
ko lang, one quick question lang. For singles, di ba? Kasi, di ba sa mga, the start, parang ano, di ba? Sometimes, na relationship pa lang, hindi pa married, pero meron ng, how can you know na parang you're getting into something like that? And,
Oh,
para lang,
yeah.
di ba? Especially when you're
Red
not yet
Red
flag.
married,
flags.
it's easy, red flag. Madali pa,
Yes.
ma'am, di ba? Kasi
Well,
once you tie the knot, medyo it's
yeah,
too
yeah,
complicated
yeah.
na.
Right. Kasi marami ko pang iniisip na, the society, you'll be
Eh,
judged as
also the
iniwan mo.
paperwork,
There's
the
children.
gastos,
Oh,
dun
yeah,
sa
the gastos, everything,
annulment.
everything.
Oo.
So, red flags. Okay. Stay away. Narcissism. Read on that. Diba? That's one of the 90% of all those I counsel have narcissists for partners. There's people who don't accept responsibility. These are the people who keep on blaming other people for
Okay.
mistakes that they cause. Let's say, kunyari, na-late sila sa opisina, sasabihin nila, kasi yung grab ko ang bagal. Mali yung report na nagawa nila, sasabihin nila, may secretary kasi, but they never take responsibility. They never take, they will never say, okay, I'm sorry. So, for me, humility in a relationship is very, very important because yun yung pinaka-big red flag mo eh. If they don't acknowledge that there's something, they're not perfect, then I don't think you should go through a relationship like that. Kasi, of course, everybody's human. Like, I make mistakes, my husband makes mistakes, but then there should be somewhere Like,
Yeah.
and again, red flag yung, sorry nasaktan kita, pero kasi naman ikaw, alam mo yung may ganun pang victim
Oh.
blaming. So be
Oh.
very watchful of that. May very thin line that separates the victim blaming and the one who actually says sorry.
Oh,
Yun.
yes, yes. So, ikaw
But
naman
again,
kasi, di ba,
yeah,
ganon? Ikaw
yeah,
naman
gano'n,
kasi,
parang
ganon.
pasensya ka na. Meaning, they just want to make amends because doon umiikot yung cycle of abuse. Tapos
Okay.
si victim will say, ay, okay, I accept your apology. Then you go back. And then that happens again. After a day, a two, 1 month, 1 year. I don't know when that will happen again. But it will, promise, it will happen again. So don't even try to change your partner when you see that cycle already. Don't be a martyr and say, okay, I will just take this. Unless you're okay being battered
Oh,
psychologically, physically, and mentally. Unless you're okay, then
it's
I
tough.
guess I can't say
Yeah, it's
get
tough,
out.
huh? I
Diba?
don't know
Kasi
if you
kung
can,
talagang,
yeah,
yeah, kung
if you can
talagang,
last a lifetime.
yeah. Kasi ako
Di ba?
may-resolve ako ganun. I said, okay, I'll stay. I'll take it because I married him and I love him. But then umabot dun sa point na, sandali, yung mga anak ko, apektado na. Sandali, di ba? Ako, I can't work anymore. Then I said, kalokohan yung till death do us part. Yan. And then whatever they all say, kung ano man judgment nila sa akin, kasi, di ba? Say, oh, the Proverbs 31 woman, he has to be this and that and this and that. And go, okay.
Uh-huh.
And then I don't think we have a God who wants you to get beaten up. I don't think,
That's
we have a
right.
God who wants
Exactly.
Exactly.
want you
Yeah,
to be
exactly,
lonely.
exactly.
So yeah.
Correct.
So in a perfect situation, fine, stay there. But
And if, yeah, and even the law, di ba? Remember, guys, there's a law already protecting you for women,
yes,
children, even men actually. May mga weird
yes,
stories ako narinig na battered men. Sabi ko, wow, walang men's
battered
desk.
men.
Merong
Oo.
women's desk, pero walang men's desk.
But
Pero
there's
it's
the
okay.
there's the family code that protects men
Ah,
anyway. So
okay,
they
good,
just have to
good.
read up on that. There's the family code. There's the
Yeah.
9262, which is violence against women and children. There's also the yung
Mm-hmm.
protection for children. So there are a lot of laws that you really just have to
Yes, we
read
have to know
through.
that. Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
Or go to
Google
your
mo lang, you can
barangay.
find it. Yeah, you can also find it online, di ba? No?
Yeah, go to your barangay. They'll know that.
Oh, yes.
Mm.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
So we are saying goodbye for now. Thank you very
thank
much,
you.
and thank you
Thank you,
Thank
for
you
thank
so
you.
all
Thanks,
our
much.
Monique.
viewers.
Thanks,
Yes, we learned a lot,
Raymond.
and hopefully, yung mga nakarinig, especially those who have not yet been, you haven't tied the knot yet. Please, no, yung mga red flags. Take note of the red flags, and even if you
Yeah.
are there already, there's always a way out. Take it from saan,
Yes.
di ba? All right.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Ingat sa
Monique,
Thank you so
lahat.
any
much,
message? Thank you so much.
yeah.
Yes. Yes, Monique.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing, for being so brave. And we'll be back next week as usual.
Yes. Yeah, Wednesday.
Everybody
Pero
can
abangan
join
nila.
our
Yes.
everyone can join our forward group discussions. You can see it
Oh,
there
yes. They're
sa
on the
streamer
ticker.
ticker.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Join
where
our
you can
community.
suggest some topics,
Mhm.
some people you would like to see on our program. Let's see if we can make it happen. Or
Correct.
just speak your mind. It's a safe
That's right.
space.
And for you to be updated with our other upcoming, we have an upcoming event happening soon. No other announcements too. Go there. And of course, on Edge TV, keep it locked. Okay. So stay safe, Monique. See you again next week. Thank you. And
All
well,
right.
anyway, we're
Thank
staying
you.
home, but
Yeah.
don't get bored. Ride safe in going out. Okay,
All
bye.
right. Bye. Take care.